About the photo simulations prepared for Verizon Wireless on the Noyo Hill site in Fort Bragg, California. This particular photo simulation is the closest viewpoint that is provided. This photograph was taken from the private property, the subject property, looking toward the north. On this side we see the proposed 170-foot lattice tower, and adjacent is the existing 139-foot lattice tower. And the discussion came up as to why these two appear roughly the same height. Location of this pole is 60 feet closer than the base of the proposed tower, and because of perspective, it makes them look roughly the same height. I prepared a Google Earth demonstration showing why this is. This is Noyo Hill with Highway 20 wrapping around the hill and stretching off. We're looking toward the west, toward Fort Bragg in the distance. For this demonstration, I've placed two towers on the exact locations where they're proposed. This is the existing 139 and this is the proposed 170-foot tower. Obviously the trees are not being shown here. This is just the ground plane, and this illustration is just to show why the towers appear the same height in the photo simulation. You'll notice that from this side the 170-foot tower appears much taller than the 139. However, when we wrap around the hill and come around to the side that the photograph was taken from, you notice that the height becomes much closer together. And in fact, these towers from this side appear much closer to the same height in the same way that it was shown previously on this viewpoint. Notice how these two are roughly the same height. So looking from this side with a closer tower, you're going to end up with the illusion that the towers are roughly the same height. Another important point is that all the roads around here, the major roads, are lined with tall trees, and it's nearly impossible to get a view of the tower from the surrounding roads. Notice how dense the trees are all along Highway 20 in each direction, and the only way you could potentially see a tower like this is when the road is pointing directly at the subject. This location here is pretty much the only potential view that you could get, and so we looked at that spot and provided a photo simulation that shows that particular viewpoint. This is that very curve in the road. Let's zoom in a little bit closer so we can see what's going on. This is Highway 20 eastbound, and you'll notice that these tall trees on the right hand side of the road block the view for motorists that are actually traveling eastbound. As we zoom in closer, you see the trees that are around the bend, around the corner. These trees block the view of the hill once you get close enough. So in order to see over the top of these trees, you have to be back far enough, and you have to be far enough north away from these trees along the side of the road to see around it. So when we stand on the shoulder of the road looking through the trees, you can see the proposed 170-foot tower and the existing 139-foot lattice tower through the trees. But again, this is standing on an embankment on the north side of the road. The westbound motorists would not be able to look over their shoulder and see it. Even though this isn't much of a visual, this is the worst case scenario and the only place that we could see these towers from Highway 20. So that concludes our examination of the photo simulations of the Noyo Hill project. Any questions, please contact Pre-Visualists Incorporated. My name is Don Carmichael. Thank you.